Let me ask you something. When the most powerful military alliance in human history, the combined air forces, intelligence network, satellite grids and precision munitions of the United States of America and the state of Israel, points everything it has at one country, what is supposed to happen? The answer, according to every strategic doctrine written in Washington and Tel Aviv, is simple. That country collapses, its government falls, its military disintegrates, its population staring at ruble loses the will to resist. That is the theory, that is the doctrine. That has been the pattern from Baghdad to Tripoli. So here is the question. Nobody in Western media wants to answer. Honestly, why didn't it happen to Iran? Think about that for a moment. Really think about it. Because what we witness is not just a military outcome, it is a civilizational data point, it is history sending us a message, and that message is this. The model of American power projection that has governed the world since 1991, that model just ran into a wall and the wall didn't move. To understand why Iran survived, what no country in the modern era was supposed to survive, you have to stop thinking like a weapons analyst and start thinking like a historian. You have to stop asking how many missiles did Iran have and start asking what does Iran actually want. Because here is the first principle of strategic analysis that Washington forgot or perhaps never understood. A state that knows what it wants and is willing to pay the price to get it is infinitely more dangerous than a state with 10 times the firepower that is not sure what it's fighting for. Iran knew exactly what it wanted. It wanted to survive. It wanted to control the Strait of Hormuz. It wanted to reduce American influence in the Middle East, to demonstrate to every nation watching, and every nation was watching, that the American military guarantee is no longer what it was. Iran didn't need to defeat America in a conventional battle. Iran needed to not lose, and not losing in this strategic context is a form of winning. A form of winning that America has consistently refused to understand. Now let us talk about the structural miscalculation, because this is where the story gets deeply instructive. The United States military operates what I call an inverted pyramid. Air power at the top, naval assets in the Middle East, ground forces minimized. It is a military designed to look powerful from 30,000 feet. It is optimized for shock, for spectacle, for the kind of warfare that produces dramatic footage and satisfying press conferences. It is not optimized for the grinding, multi-domain, multi-year war of attrition that Iran was always prepared to fight. Wars, real wars, wars that determine the shape of the world, are wars of attrition. They are won by the side with the cheapest, most flexible, most motivated resources on the battlefield, and that resource is not an F-35. That resource is a human being who believes in what he is dying for. Israel made a similar category error, and a more emotionally loaded one. Israel has consistently confused tactical precision with strategic clarity. Israel can hit any target on earth within a margin of meters. Israel cannot answer the question, and then what? Strike the leadership, and then what? Destroy the missiles stockpiles, and then what? The Iranian state is not building, it is not a server farm, it is not a single general who can be removed by a drone strike. It is a civilization 4,000 years old that has been invaded, occupied, and carved up by empires that no longer exist. Persia outlasted the Greeks, Persia outlasted Alexander, Persia outlasted the Mongol, Persia outlasted the British. Israel is 76-year-old, believed it could solve the Iranian equation through engineering. History does not bend to engineering. Here is what the intelligence community in both Washington and Tel Aviv fundamentally misread. They measured Iranian capability and ignored Iranian coherence. They counted missiles and ignored meaning. They tracked centrifuges and ignored culture. There is a concept I want you to hold in your mind: societal mobilization. It is the degree to which a population will absorb punishment without disintegrating. The United States, in its modern war, has operated on the assumption that sufficient pain, economic, military, psychological, will fracture the societal contract inside an adversary state. Make the people suffer enough and they will turn on their government. Make the cost high enough and the leadership will capitulate. It has never worked against Iran, not under the Shah, not under the sanctions regime, not under the assassination campaign, not now. Why? Because Iranian national identity is not a construct of the Islamic Republic. The Islamic Republic is merely the current operating system running on an ancient and extraordinarily resilient cultural hard drive. When bombs fall on Tehran, Iranians do not think the government has failed us.